Gentlelady yields back. Chair recognizes Mr. Burlison for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. You know, real leaders accept responsibility for mistakes and pass on credit for successes. I'm from Missouri. We are the home of President Harry Truman, who famously had on his desk, "The buck stops here." We are a long ways from Harry Truman, because this whole hearing for hours, all we're hearing is we want to blame any mistakes not on myself or my administration or accept any responsibility. Instead, we're going to blame it on previous administrations. And so I think I respect and applaud your efforts, because you in your reports have looked past blame and are just trying to get to the answers. Because we don't want to see this ever happen again. And so I think my questions are going to go in a different direction than what some of the ones I've heard earlier. I want to find out what's going on today. So in October of 2022, the Department of Defense, OIG, released a report called The Evaluation of DoD Security and Life Support for Afghan Evacuees at Camp Bondsteel. Okay, Camp Bondsteel is located in Kosovo and was selected for one of the several locations where we temporarily housed Afghanistan refugees. It was scheduled to be decommissioned or taken down, but has been renewed, and apparently it's going to keep going. What's happening there?
Thank you for the question. The report you're referencing is one of 11 management advisories that we did looking at different facilities, U.S. military installations that were used in order to house, feed, give medical care, and the like to evacuees. The one in question is actually one where I think it's fair to say we found a fair number of issues and concerns regarding the way in which that was carried out, and we made a number of findings. My understanding is that those were addressed promptly. There were after-action reports done, and so our office, continues to follow up on all that. But as we've moved forward, we've moved on into audits and evaluations looking more at the cost of the process. But having said that, there were after-actions done to address those issues.
So the issues were processing issues, or conditions?
I think there were a number of issues regarding the way in which different aspects of care were conducted, the medical care, some of the feeding, the housing, those sort of issues, and then there were processing issues.
About how many evacuees were processed there?
I don't have the specific number for that one. The total number was about 108,000.
And what's the purpose for this? Are these people, they're kind of in purgatory? They can't get, what is their status?
So as I understand it, the purpose was to provide safe spaces for these individuals to continue to pursue their refugee status and their applications for visas. And so folks were evacuated from Afghanistan.
But there was red flag issues with some of these evacuees. Is that not accurate?
So we also found in our vetting work, and again, DOD is not primarily responsible for the vetting. That's primarily the responsibility of DHS. But we did find issues when we looked at that regarding whether all of the information that DOD had in its systems regarding some individuals whether all that information was being provided to DHS, essentially because of limitations on the sharing of that information that were in place when they got that. And so there were sort of informal procedures worked out to identify individuals who had derogatory information. That doesn't mean that they necessarily say were terrorists or something else, but there were concerns, and not all that went forward. We're doing a follow-up project right now that's looking at the current status of that.
So the reason why the camp is still being funded, and we have, the U.S. national, government housing these individuals, because we have not been able to process them. We haven't figured out who they really are, whether they are a terrorist or not?
No, I'm sorry. I think those are separate issues, and I can get back to you with more information on this if you'd like. But there's the one issue regarding the provision of housing and other services to the people under Operation Allies Welcome. The separate issue is the support for the screening and vetting process, and that's what I was alluding to with the latter. I don't believe that the latter was particularly related to Camp Bondsteel.
Do you have any idea of how many Afghanistan refugees that have entered the United States are you aware or investigating any crimes that they have committed in the United States?
So my office has, I believe, about 24 active investigations that both from legacies, from OFS, and from OES. Those don't involve refugees or that sort of situation. One of the issues we found was that there was ambiguity regarding jurisdiction over how to investigate crimes involving individuals who were brought into the country, and that's one of the places.
But there have been crimes.
Gentlemen's time's expired, but please go ahead and answer.
Yeah, I don't know that there have been crimes. My office, that wouldn't be our jurisdiction is over DOD. One of the things we found was there needed to be better delineation of jurisdiction over who would investigate any such crimes. But I don't have any information regarding whether those individuals themselves had committed crimes, if that helps.
Thank you.